Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If Martial Artist Reborn is Kenichi Shirahama. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 101, Shigeru's Disciple. Hearing their question, Kenichi answered truthfully, Master Akasame will break you before you even start. Master Sakaki won't even teach you at all. Even if he did, he may end up hurting you. Master Kensei is a pervert who may be pedophile, and Apachai's single kick or punch by mistake will end up killing you. Hey! That's rude, Kenichi. I am not a pedophile. Apachai doesn't kill. Came Kenichi's master's voices one after the another as they heard Kenichi demeaning them and verting of his sister. Then Sister Shigeru can be my master, Anoka said. Hearing which, Shigeru's eyes shined as she nodded her head. I will teach Anoka, she said. Yes, I got my own master and she is beautiful unlike Big Brother's masters, said Anoka to tick Kenichi off. But it didn't tick Kenichi more than the masters of his as Akasame, Sakaki and Kensei's lips twitched while Apachai didn't think much of the matter. Are you sure, Anoka? You won't be able to have enough strength for your tennis, asked Kenichi once again. Oi, why are you trying to stop her from learning martial arts? Even if she is your sister, I believe she can handle herself pretty well. Don't force your decisions on your sister, said Kazara. Don't make me a villain to my sister. I was just making sure that she isn't making a hasty decision, that's all, Kenichi said. No, Big Brother. I have decided that I will learn martial arts, and even if I may not be able to reach to the top level like Sister Shigeru, I will always become strong enough to protect myself and Mom and Dad, said Anoka. That's good, Anoka, but you have forgotten that Dad have his Sebastian and others to do just that, Kenichi said with smile, making Anoka pout. Since Anoka will become Shigeru's disciple, then it will be fine if she doesn't practice for tennis at all, because as a weapon specialist, she will need to have great amount of strength and hand-eye coordination, which will be more than enough for her to become a star in tennis, said Akasame as he caressed his mustache. Yes, now I don't have to worry about my tennis practice, Anoka said. I am fine with it, but do you think that Dad will allow you to come here when he haven't seen this dojo at all? Hell, even if he did, I am damn sure that there won't be any way that he will allow you to come here to learn martial arts, said Kenichi. Then we don't tell it to Dad. I already come here to meet you and play with you. Let him think it's the same now, while I will tell Mom everything, Anoka said. Dad will be hurt later when he gets to know about it, Kenichi said. Don't worry, I will make him forgive me when the time comes to that, said Anoka with a cheeky smile. Okay, then what are you going to do about your dress? You don't think you will learn martial arts in normal clothes, right? Asked Kenichi. She can wear same dresses like me. My battle gear suit can be wore for everything, Mio said. My dress, Shigeru said as well. Kenichi looked at Mio and Shigeru, one wearing body tight sit that encompasses her sexy body while the other wore short kimono only till her thighs, giving a sensuality of her own. No, she should wear normal martial arts clothes for now. I will give you money and you can go tomorrow with anyone to buy one for yourself, Kenichi said to Anoka. Okay, thank you, brother, said Anoka. If you want, I can help her with the clothes, since I used to wear those clothes when I learned Taekwondo earlier, said Kazara. Oh, that would be really helpful, Kazara, thank you in advance then, Kenichi said. No, I am just repaying the favor of you helping me, Kazara said, after which she looked at Noir, who was sleeping soundly in a corner, and smiled. Kazara stayed at Ryo Zanpaku Dojo for half an hour more, after which she decided that it was enough for today and will come to meet Noir tomorrow. Wait, Kazara, let me drop you, Kenichi said to Kazara as it was already quite late. What? You think that I can't take care of myself and even reach my own house, said Kazara. No, I want going to do you by foot. I just thought I will help you reach your house a little early, that's all, said Kenichi. Oh, then how will you do that? Kazara asked as she raised her eyebrow. You just reach the gate and I will meet you there, said Kenichi as he left room. What is he talking about? Kazara asked as she looked at Mio, who only smiled in reply. When Kazara and Mo reached the Ryozanpaku gate, they heard the noise of an engine and saw Kenichi on his bike, the Ducati Multistrada, which Kenichi has genuinely started to love as it really had everything: speed, style, control, etc. This is your own bike?" asked Kazara in shock. "Of course, sweetheart, this is my own one and only. Mo, Shigeru, and Siko has ridden this up till now, as the back seat is reserved by my girlfriends," Kenichi said with a smile. "Then why are you showing me this when I can't even sit on it?" Kazara asked. "Oh. Well, I thought that since we will be a couple in the future, then I will give you an exception," Kenichi replied. Hearing this, Kazara became red. "I am not gonna become your girlfriend, you bastard," shouted Kazara. "Haha, we will see about that. For now you can just think of it as me returning the favor of taking care of my sister for tomorrow," said Kenichi, as he knew that Kazara won't sit on his bike. Though Kazara knew that the case wasn't as such, but since she was already tired for the day, she decided to sit on Kenichi's bike. "Okay, Mio, I will be dropping Kazara off," bike, Kenichi said to Mio, who returned the gesture by waving her hand as she said bye. The journey to Kazara's house was going as bad as one could think of, as both of them weren't speaking at all, making an awkward silence between them. Finally, Kenichi broke the silence when he teased Kazara. "Are you scared of speed, Kazara?" he asked. "What? No, never," said Kazara. "Then you would be fine if I increased the bike's speed and did a bit of tough driving, cause I don't want you screaming by my ear in fear," asked Kenichi. "Bastard. Increase your speed, let's see who gets scared first," Kazara said while gnashing her teeth. Okay, then here we go. Chapter 102, 100 Moments with Kazara. "Are you scared of speed, Kazara?" he asked. "What? No, never," said Kazara. "Then you would be fine if I increased the speed and did a bit of rough driving, cause I don't want you screaming by my ear in fear," asked Kenichi. "Bastard. Increase your speed, let's see who gets scared first," Kazara said while gnashing her teeth. Okay, then here we go, Kenichi said as he stepped up on his bike, changing its gear and increased the speed. Vroom * came the noise from the bike as it sped up from the alley, entering the main road. The speed of the bike continued increasing even after it crossed the 100 km/h mark on the speedometer. The wind came fast to directly hit Kenichi and Kazara on their faces, but both of them were smiling and enjoying the fast speed. Kenichi zoomed the bike through the cars without slowing it when Kazara said, "I have to say, Kenichi, I wasn't expecting you to be such a daredevil, huh? You still don't know much about me, Kazara, but don't worry, we will get to know each other more from now on since you will be coming to Ryozanpaku daily," Kenichi said. "I won't be coming daily," said Kazara. "If you don't, then Noir will start liking Mio more as he will be seeing her more," Kenichi said with a smirk on his face as he knew how to deal with Kazara. "There is no way in hell I will let the dairy cow make Noir like her more than me. I will be coming daily if that's what I have to do," said Kazara. Both of them did small tasks while enjoying the fast ride and reached Kazara's home in 10 minutes. "This was fun, Kenichi," Kazara said. "Then maybe you would like to ride behind me again in the future?" asked Kenichi. "Yeah, maybe," Kazara said, then remembered what Kenichi said about the back seat being only for his girlfriends and became red cause of it, entering straight into her building without looking back towards Kenichi. "Well, that was a giant step forward," says Kenichi as stated his bike to return back to Ryozanpaku. Next day, Akasame has decided to increase the weights on Kenichi's restraints, maybe because what he said about him to his little sister Anoka. "Sensei, isn't this too much? I am already carrying 140 kilograms dead weight." "I mean, is this necessary?" Kenichi asked to Akasame. "This will be last bit of weight that I am adding on your restraints, Kenichi, after which anything else isn't necessary, as I can see that your pink muscles are mostly grown and the rest is up to you doing continuous practice," said Akasame. "It's okay, but I don't think I can fight to Ryuto while wearing them," Kenichi said. "Not will I advise you to do it. Don't forget, Kenichi, that your strength may be on the level of master class but your skills are still at the level of expert class," Akasame said. "But what about my gentle fist? What level do you think it can reach?" said Kenichi. "Well, though this would be Kensei's expertise, but from what I have seen from your displays of it till now, it's that it still has room for improvement and you still haven't used it to its full potential," Akasame said. "Yeah, there are many things I need to add in it for it to be totally completed," replied Kenichi. Then you should try to train on your technique every day, only then will you be able to achieve any breakthrough and not just a small amount of time. It will need a lot of your time to really make a good fighting style, so do your best, Kenichi Akisame said. Hi Master Akisame, Kenichi said as he started his practicing. Kazara came to Ryozanpaku in the afternoon to bring Anoka for the shopping, followed by Myo and Shigeru, who wanted to help Anoka as her big sis and master. Why are you following his dairy cow? Said Kazara to Myo, who was walking beside Anoka while Shigeru was right next to her. I wanted to help Anoka in choosing her dress and thought that Noir would like to go for a walk, Myo replied as she caressed Noir's head with one hand as the other held him tightly in her embrace. Give him to me, Kazara asked. What? Why? Myo said, to which Kazara replied, you have been holding it for quite some time now. Is my turn, come on, give him to me, dairy cow. I won't give him to you if you don't speak my name clearly, Myo said as she pouted. You. Give him to me, Myo Furiniji, Kazara said. To which Myo Hair complied with a smile on her face. Seeing them fighting like this, Anoka sighed, then looked at Shigeru, her new master, along without being her big sis. So what will be the first thing that you will be teaching me, Shigeru? Anoka asked excitedly. Master, says Shigeru. Oh. Okay, then what will you be teaching me first, Master Shigeru? Anoka asked again. Sword, along with body training, Shigeru said. Sword, yes, cool, I like sword, but the body training, is it the same way as big brother Kenichi does? Cause I do have normal training that I do for tennis, asked Anoka. No, training to increase flexibility, not strength. Strength comes later, first flexibility and speed, said Shigeru. Oh, then I will be focusing my body training to increase my flexibility and speed, asked Anoka. Shigeru nodded her head in reply, then stopped walking as they had reached the store. I am sorry, miss, but cats aren't allowed in the shop as we sell clothes, and it isn't good for animals to be brought inside the shop, said the guard standing in front of the shop. What, we can't bring in Noir? Asked Kazara, who was holding Noir in her hand. Yes, replied the guard. It's okay, Sister Kazara, I just know the solution for it, Anoka said, and she putted 2 fingers in her mouth and whistled loudly. Why did you do that? Asked Kazara and Mo together when they felt the shadow of someone big approaching them, and as they turned back they saw Apachai jumping down from a roof right behind them. Aha! Chapter 103, Training with Elder. It's okay, Sister Kazara, I just know the solution for it, Anoka said, and she putted 2 fingers in her mouth and whistled loudly. Why did you do that? Asked Kazara and Mo together when they felt the shadow of someone big approaching them, and as they turned back they saw Apachai jumping down from a roof right behind them. Aha! The guard shouted in shock and fear as he fell on the ground when he saw Apachai appear out of nowhere. Kazara flinched a little but didn't attack Apachai, which she generally does. Oh, Apachai, did you came after hearing Anoka's whistle? Asked Myo. Yes, Apachai told Anoka that Apachai will come if she whistles, said Apachai. Apachai, you can take care of Noir until we come back from the store, as they do not allow pets inside, Anoka said, to which Apachai smiled and said Apachai will take care of Noir, as he raised his hand to take note from Kazara, but she didn't wanted to give him to Apachai. You can trust Apachai with Noir, he is always loved by animals and little kids, said Myo to Kazara, who finally relented and gave Noir to Apachai. Note, let's go and start shopping, Anoka said as they entered the store. Near Tanimoto Villa. Keed has just returned with his brother from the school she has recently joined. Yo Tanimoto, how are you? Came a noise from behind the brother and sister. Both of them turned to look at the person who called them and saw Naijima along with the members of his Shinpaku alliance. What are you doing here, alien? Natsu asked. Come on, Tanimoto, we are friends. That's why I came here to ask you to join our alliance, Naijima said. Who is your friend? Don't try to get chummy me, alien, said Natsu. But I am trying to help you by allowing you to repay your debt to Kenichi, said Naijima. Big brother Kenichi, Keed said. Yes, you remember that he challenged the Ragnarok for an all-out fight, right? It's going to happen in the next 3 days, so I thought it would be good if Tanimoto here could join our alliance and help Kenichi defeat those Ragnarok guys, said Naijima. You should help big brother Kenichi, otherwise I won't reason to you, HMNP, said Keed as she stormed inside their villa. Wait, Keed, listen to me, said Natsu as he tried to stop his sister, but she didn't listen to him and entered the villa. You bastard, using my sister as a leverage, said Natsu, and attacked Najima without letting him speak. Bomb asterisk boom bang, the noise came and everyone from Shinpaku Alliance was lying on the ground. I know I have a huge debt to pay Kenichi Shirahama, and I will do that, but don't think that I will help you in any of your agendas, Natsu said as he started walking towards his villa gate. Just send me the address of your clash with Ragnarok and I will be there to help, Kenichi B says while entering his front yard. He, no matter what you say, Tanimoto, you won't be able to get away from me, Najima said as he and the others stood up to leave from the place. While Najima was hacking this plan and the girls were shopping, Kenichi was practicing with the electrical wooden dolls, standing between 3 electrical wooden dolls who come back to attack him every time he hit them. Ho, how do you like my new invention, Kenichi, said Akasame, but Kenichi wasn't able to say anything as he didn't have time to retort back, since with his new weight saving himself from the electrical dolls was really hard. If you don't punch each of the wooden dolls 30 times, then they will stand up and give you an electrical shock. I have incorporated Kirichioff's law in this training machine, said Akasame. Hey, you are testing your new inventions on him again. Why don't you let him practice on a normal machine, Sakaki said while practicing his karate. He adapts really fast, so I have to make up new inventions to give him surprises every now and then, said Akasame. It's good that he gets surprised, that's why I also try to use unusual method to train, said Kensei while reading a book. I am thinking that it's time for me to take Kenichi for the training, said Elder Furinagi. What? Akasame asked in surprise while Sakaki and Kensei flinched as well and looked at Elder Furinagi. Yes, I think that since Kenichi is going to fight against Ogata's disciple, hence he will need to learn at least one technique from me, said Elder Furinagi. If that's what you think, Elder, then we should do that, Akasame said, then looked at Kenichi who was punching the lady electrical doll standing. So Elder is going to teach Kenichi for next 3 days, then I will just drink my booze and take rest, Sakaki said. Ha! Elder teaching me for 3 days? Kenichi asked as he came down from Akasame's electrical doll machine. Yes, are you ready to learn from me, Kenichi? Asked Elder. Sure, why not? I have been waiting for you to ask me that, said Kenichi with a smile. Oh ho, taking my special training lightly are you, said Hayato Furinagi as his eyes shone. Smoke came from his nose. No. I am just excited to learn from one of the strongest martial artists in the world, said Kenichi. Good, then we will go right after Mio comes back with others, said Hayato Furinagi. After 1 hour, Mio with Moir in his hand came back with Anoka, Shigure, and Apachai, and when they learned that Kenichi was going with Mio's grandfather, they posted for his safety while Mo warned her grandfather to not intentionally try to harm Kenichi cause of their relationship, making Elder's eyes shine in anger. After which Mio told Kenichi about her talk with Elder Furinagi, making Kenichi sweat in bullets. No. Why? Why did you went and looked the hornet's nest? Now I know that the intensity of my training will increase many folds, Kenichi said while shaking his head. Mio's head was down as she knew that she created for him and said, I am sorry, Kenichi. Chapter 104, Wheels Turning Part 1. No. Why? Why did you went and looked the hornet's nest? Now I know that the intensity of my training will increase many folds, Kenichi said while shaking his head. Mio's head was down as she knew that she created for him and said, I am sorry, Kenichi. We are off, and will be back in 3 days, said Hayato Furinagi. But Elder, where do you plan to take him? Asked Akasame. To the heart of Japan, where the country of least developed and destroyed, said Hayato Furinagi. You are taking him to the Black Valley? Akasame exclaimed. What is it really that bad? Asked Sakaki. Oh. No, said Akasame. Sigh, Elder is reckless as always, but this will allow Kenichi to use his strength and speed, thought Akasame. Kenichi, never forget about your beliefs, keep your will strong, said Akasame as he waved his hands and the rest along with him. Elder was jumping from one tree to another with Kenichi on his back. Where are we going exactly, Elder? Asked Kenichi. I am taking you to Black Valley, a place where I used to train when I was younger, Hayato Furinagi said as he jumped down from the tree entering the Black Valley. While Kenichi went on his training with Elder, the rest weren't just sitting around. Siko was training with her elder sister as she didn't want it to be left behind by Kenichi. She forced her sister to train her in all the Busujima martial arts she knew. Aren't you pushing yourself too much, my dear little sister? Asked Rukia. Kenichi is becoming stronger, now even more faster than before. He changed after he started training under his new masters. Every one of them being grandmaster doesn't help as well, so if I want to help him in his future fights then I have to increase my strength as well, Siko replied. Oh, so my little sister is doing this in love, Rukia teased. Not just that. I don't want to be left behind by someone whom I knew I could have caught up to, Siko said as she swinged her wooden sword at Rukia, who deflected it by her own wooden sword, then pointed her sword at Siko's neck and said, Then you have a lot to learn, my little sister. At Kanami's hideout. Kaname remembered how she lost to Shigeru. The women didn't even needed a weapon to best her and her spoon was way better than her staff. In the thirst of power I forgot what was important to me and became part of a gang, which I wouldn't have done if I wasn't just looking for power, Kaname thought as practiced with her staff. Maybe I should go and talk to my grandfather after this debacle between Ragnarok and Shinpaku alliance is over. Kazara's hideout. So what is it that you and your Shinpaku alliance wants? Asked Kazara as she looked at Najima and her followers along with a guy who was hiding his face while sitting on her sofa. Well, I have an offer for you which I am sure you would love, but before that here is some things which may help you in making the decision after you hear my offer, Najima said as he passed the envelope to her. Kazara saw the photos in the envelope. You guys go outside, I will like to talk with the Shinpaku alliance myself, she said to her gang members, and other than Shiratori, who was behind Kazara, started to leave. What is it? What is it? Is it done secret? Why don't you tell me? Koga asked, but got Kazara's kick in reply. Get out of her, bastard, she shouted, and Koga ran from the room. So what do you want? Asked Kazara from Najima while she tore the photographs of her showing her love towards Kitten. I just wanted you to join our Shinpaku alliance since you have defected from Ragnarok as one of our captains, said Najima. Oh, by the way, please don't think that those were the only copies I have. He ended his speech after that. I am not joining your gang, you bastard, Kazara said as she jumped from her seat ready to fight Najima to death. What were those photos? Asked Yukita, who was standing beside the man in cloak. Najima smiled and dropped the duplicate photos he have. Oops, it slipped, he said, and everyone from the Shinpaku alliance saw the photos of Kazara hugging a stray cat or looking at the cats in a pet shop. Kazara jumped and started picking them up hurriedly while her trusted aide Shiratori helped her, but the damage was done by then as everyone had seen them. So Kazara likes cat, huh? Yukita said while the others thought that it wasn't that much of a big deal. Bastard! Kazara shouted and kicked towards Najima's chest from the ground where she was crawling to pick up her photographs. It was fast, precise, and something which Najima couldn't different, but just as he kick reached his chest, he was pulled back by the man in full cloak. Even if you kill me, these photos won't go away, you know, they are already saved in my computer, and every day I have to open my computer to make sure that those photos don't get posted on the net, Najima said with a smile, even though he was just saved from a life-threatening situation. It's for your own good that you join the Shinpaku alliance, Kazara, as there is no one other than Kenichi who can save you from the wrath that will come after you and your gang for leaving Ragnarok, Najima continued, then looked at the man who saved him and said, Thank you, my loyal servant, for saving my life. I knew I could trust you with my life. It is my duty, my demon lord, said the man in cloak, whose voice was awfully similar to someone Kazara knew. She looked at the man in cloak intently, then just as she thought she was just thinking nonsense, the man in question removed the cloak, and when Kazara actually saw who the man was, she couldn't help but shout in surprise. You. Chapter 105, Wheels Turning Part 2. She looked at the man in cloak intently, then just as she thought she was just thinking nonsense, the man in question removed the cloak, and when Kazara actually saw who the man was, she couldn't help but shout in surprise. You. It was not just Kazara, but everyone other than Najima was surprised when they saw the person who was hiding inside the cloak. Siegfried. You. How? Why? Asked Kazara in shock. It's all because I met my demon lord on the fateful day. Siegfried started to tell the story of how he joined Najima and became his faithful servant. Kazara. I see in you a symphony of friendship. I know you will join us, Siegfried said. Yes, I know you will join us, and as I said, until I have the master copy, Najima said as Siegfried showed the master copy. Yes, that one, said Najima and stopped. Siegfried, what are you doing? He asked in surprise, but Siegfried broke the master copy in pieces. Please forgive me, Commander, I have already deleted all the files from the computer, Siegfried said. WH? Why did you do that, Siegfried? I thought you were loyal to me, asked Naijima in indignation. Kazara, who heard this, sighed in relief when she thought that Naijima won't have anything to blackmail her. Commander! You carry the tune of someone who can rule the world. But using blackmail to persuade someone. That's exactly like something that Ragnarok would do. You should pave your own path to glory. Siegfried said, then went on one knee as a knight in front of Naijima. Your Majesty, I just hope you can live your life in grandioso manner, heroic and righteously. You are right. I definitely won't be able to trust someone whom I have forced to work for me. Naijima said, nodding his head. Valkyrie. Even when you were part of Ragnarok, I could already sense that you were suppressing a melody of gentle and full of feelings. Seriously though, the Ragnarok without us has changed into an organization that is out of control. If this keeps up, your subordinates will eventually be in danger. This is a great opportunity for us to work together. Siegfried said, making Kazara falter in her decision. Also, if you agree to work with us, then I will even add this in for you. It's a kitty that was born last week at my house. Siegfried said, showing Kazara a kitty with yellow color with black stripes on it. Oh. Kazara said as her eyes had heart in it. I know that you can't keep cats where you live. But if you need, I can open up a small room for you. I have around 20 breeds of cats and dogs at my mansion. You're welcome to come and play with them anytime. Siegfried said, enticing Kazara. Kazara jumped and took the kitty from Siegfried's hand and snuggling with it as she said, I don't care about the dogs. I only love cats. Here's another one. I even have a hairless Canadian cat. Siegfried said, taking out 2 more cats from God knows where. Looks like she will be convinced now, said Yukita, while the rest nodded their head. Oh ho! Using the direct approach. Now we have Valkyrie as well, Naijima thought as he nodded his head. Takeda was walking in the shopping district while he contemplated what Kenichi has told him about how he needs to find a master for himself if he wants to really help him in the future, as from now on his enemy will get stronger and stronger. Hey old man, don't you look around when you are walking, said a thug to the old man while his 2 friends were smiling standing behind him. The old man was carrying a grocery bag with him, was a tall and lean and muscular man with pale hair parted on the sides and shaved halfway down the middle and a long pointed out mustache which. He was wearing dark pants with knee guards on his knees and dark boots with a ripped sleeveless vest. He has an eye patch over his right eye with a cigarette in his mouth. Takeda wanted to help him, but before he could even reach him, the old man had knocked the 3 of them with a single punch each, after which he didn't forget to rob them, then went on his merry way. Takeda, who saw everything, was shocked by it but then smiled as he thought, I have found my master, after which he followed his would-be master. Kita became friends with Anoka after she met with her in the school and even went her home to meet with her family, and after that she followed Anoka to Ryozanpaku as Apachai came to pick her up. When they reached Ryozanpaku dojo, Keed was introduced by Anoka to everyone and became friends with Shigeru and Apachai, as she has already met Mil before she was already friends with her. Thank you, Sister Mil, for coming to meet me and becoming friend with my brother, Keed said as she thanked Mil. It's not me, Keed, that you have to thank, but Kenichi, and if he was here then he would say it's no problem or something like that, Mio said with a smile. Keed. Are you there? Came the voice of Natsu as he pushed the Ryozanpaku door open with his full strength. Brother, I am here. Keed called her brother, who came running after hearing his voice and hired her tightly the moment he saw her safe and sound. Why did you left just like that without informing me first? Of the man I sent to pick you up didn't told me that you left with Anoka Shirahama. Where would I have found you? Natsu said. I wanted to meet brother Kenichi's and Anoka's parents, and after that I just followed Anoka here in Ryozanpaku, Keed said. Appa. I picked her up, so there is no way someone who could hurt her, Apachai said. But she left the school without any protection, Natsu said. No, she came with me. And why do you think Keed needs protection? She can learn martial arts like me from Shigeru and take care of herself. Anoka said. Ha! Chapter 106, New Disciple. But she left the school without any protection, Natsu said. No, she came with me. And why do you think Kid needs protection? She can learn martial arts like me from Shigurne and take care of herself. Anoka said. Ha! Natsu exclaimed in shock. Yes, I have decided to learn martial arts so that I don't become a burden to my brother. Learning from Master Shigur is going to start from today, so Kid could join me and learn from Master Shigur so that we could become strong enough to take care of ourselves, Anoka said with a smile. No, Kid has been sent from the hospital just recently. Her body isn't strong enough to learn martial arts, Natsu replied. Are you sure about that? Kensei-ma asked. What? What do you mean? Asked Natsu as he couldn't understand the need of such question. Well, I and Akasame are classified doctor and we did a checkup on your sister when Mio told about her, but we didn't find anything wrong with her. Moreover, she is healthier than normal kids of her age except Anoka, that is, said Kensei-ma. What? How is this possible? Asked Natsu in shock. Kenichi used his internal energy to cure your sister on a regular basis. Doing so, he also cleared the impurities her body, or you could say any normal person has, along with her illness, making her healthier than normal kids, and the only reason it was possible because of how pure Kenichi's internal energy was. Otherwise, I am not sure that your sister could have been saved from just the use of his internal energy, Akasame explained while stroking his mustache. This means Kid is as healthy as she could be. Natsu asked to make sure what he heard was true. Yes, strong enough to learn martial arts if she wants to, replied Akasame. See? Now do you want to learn martial arts, Kid? Asked Anoka from Kid. Yes, I want to learn martial arts, replied Kid with a smile. Kid. You don't need to, I will protect you and always be there to take care of you, Natsu said to Tanimoto. No, brother, I want to learn martial arts so that I don't need to hide behind your shadow and take on the world in my own. Even if you will be there to take care of me, at least I should learn how to take care of myself so that you can have a life of your own, said Kid. Good, then you can use my second karate GI to start the training today with me, said Anoka as she pulled Kid with her to change the dress. Before Natsu could stop Kid, he was pulled by Kensei. You come with me, I have to check if there are any elements that you are having due to practicing of Hikaken, he says, and pulled him towards his clinic. In 2 days you for 2 disciple Shigur, I think you should be quite happy, Sakaki said while drinking his beer. I am going to train my disciples, Shigur says as she nodded her head, then left along with Mio, leaving the men there. Why are you doing this? Asked Natsu, who was lying down on a patient's bed in Kensei-ma's clinic with acupuncture on his body. Well, since my brother was your master, I have to make sure that he took care of the elements that come with Hikaken, which looks like he did, making sure that you don't get your hands destroyed, Kensei said. He used to make me wear stones around my wrist to increase its strength, Natsu said. A good way to train for Hikaken, but it looks like you stopped practicing the basics, otherwise this process wouldn't have been needed to perform, Kensei said while looking at Natsu. Natsu turned his head away in other direction, not looking at Kensei, as what he said was true. He stopped practicing the basics after getting defeated from Kenichi for the first time. We'll just stay like this for 10 minutes, after which you will be fine, but I will ask you to start practicing the basics and you can come to ask me if there is any problem you face in your Hikaken, Kensei said as he left the room to let Natsu rest for next 10 minutes. Ragnarok base. Since Loki was out of commission, currently Ragnarok only had 3 fists present, hence Odin has decided to add 1 more fist. So you are fine with joining Ragnarok, Rimi? Asked Ryuto. Yes, Ryuto-sama, Rimi would love to serve you with the best as my abilities, replied the blonde girl Rimi. Rimi dresses in typical gothic Lolita clothes. She has short, blonde shoulder-length hair and a well-endowed figure for her age. She wore a dark dress that reveals her chest with straps across the middle, a type of headband up top, and wore sleeves around her arms midway. On her legs were stockings and she was wearing high heels. Good, then in 2 days I will have your gloves ready for you and you will be there when we deal with the Shinpaku Alliance, said Ryuto. Yes, Ryuto-sama, Rimi won't let you down, Rimi said and left. Sitting on his throne, Ryuto thought about Kenichi's challenge. Just you wait, Kenichi, I will crush in price that I am stronger than you, he said, after which he took out his cell phone and dialed a number. Hello, what is it, my disciple? Came a voice from the other side of the phone. Master, 3 days from now I am going to fight against my rival and I want you to be there to see how I crush him, said Ryuto. Oh. Is this the guy you talked about when you first meet me? Asked Ogata. Yes, master, he is the one, and after 3 days I am going to defeat him, replied Ryuto. Ryuto, is this guy a martial artist? Asked Ogata. He at the age of 6, hit adult men, and with his thinking of continuously becoming strong, I am sure he is not a low-level martial artist, Ryuto said. Oh. Now that's interesting. Okay, then I will be there to see your fight, Ogata said, after which he disconnected the phone. Ryuto kept his cell phone back and said, 3 days, Kenichi, just 3 days, and your confidence in your strength will come to an end. Chapter 107, Shinpaku Party. Oh. Now that's interesting. Okay, then I will be there to see your fight, Ogata said, after which he disconnected the phone. A day before the clash between Kenichi and Ryuto, the Shinpaku Alliance were having a party with all its members at the same place. There were Najima, Siegfried, Takeda, Yukita, Kazara, Mio, Siko, Renka, and all other subordinates were present as well. The party was for Kazara joining the alliance and Renka successfully migrating to their school. I am happy that you will be with us in the school as well, Mio said to Renka. Me too. It's great being with Kenichi and you all, but why isn't he here as well, asked Renka. He has gone to do a special training with my grandfather and will return tomorrow with him the moment it is ended, Mio replied. He still doesn't think that his strength will be enough to beat that Ryuto, Siko asked. Don't take Odin the First Fist as a joke against him, Kenichi should get all the training he could get, Kazara replied. Oh, no, Kazara, he has already surpassed Ryuto by far. Kenichi has the strength of master class along with his internal energy, ki, in which Kenichi's control is at the master class as well. He may be able to sweep almost all of them. It's only his martial arts that is at the level of expert class. That's why grandfather must have taken him to see if he could break through to at least low master class, Mio said while sipping juice. No way, it can't be true, right? Strength and internal energy, ki. At master class level, you are kidding, right? He is of our age. How can he be so strong? Renka asked in shock. Apparently he is, and that's when he isn't even giving his all, replied Siko as she clenched her sword tightly. Wait, what is this master class, expert class, and low master class? Kazara asked the rest of the boys. That is Takeda, Yukita, Siegfried and Najima perked up their ears to listen about the master class as well. Oh, right, you are a self-learner so you may haven't heard about it, but martial artists are divided in multiple class starting from low-class disciple, middle-class disciple, higher-class disciple. These three are where the disciple learns under their master's tutelage, Mio explained. Expert class comes after it, where a martial artist is most vulnerable as he needs to find a path for him to enter the master class. Low master class is where a martial artist had mastered their martial arts to some extent, though they're much weaker than a real master. Renka added. Master class master is a powerful martial artist that is a master at their respective martial art. As master class can be applied to anyone who has mastered their martial arts, many masters tend to vary greatly in strength. The next class is a Grand Master, is the next class of a master class martial artist who had not only mastered their respective martial art, but has perfected and pushed it to a new level at which they are able to perform tasks and fight in a way that a normal master could not easily do. Grand Masters are basically master class fighters who have reached the pinnacle of human abilities and virtually have more physical capabilities than the former. They also have massive, internal energy, key flow abilities, and tend to have immense physical strength and speed. Siko explained. After these comes Advanced Grand Master and Legendary Master, which are far ahead of us, so there is no need to talk about them for now, Mio said. So according to it, where do you think we all would land? Kazara asked. Mio looked at Siko, who nodded her head while Renka shrugged her shoulders. Then Mio said, none of you have passed the barrier of middle-class disciple, while Yukita is only a low-class disciple since he haven't trained enough, but don't take it that hard, as from what I can see after training for few months you may able to pass that barrier and raise your level. This is just for the reference, but what do you think is the level of the three fists of Ragnarok? Asked Takeda. Well, from what I have seen from the short exchange with Shigeru, she is still a middle-class disciple, but it won't be hard for her to cross that barrier if she understood the meaning of Shigeru's words, and for the other two I don't know anything about them as I haven't seen them fight, said Mio. I am at Koba's level, Yukita said softly, but everyone heard him and knew that he was hurt. What? No, Yukita, you are way above Koba's level, as he only know how to throw kicks, that's all, and please don't forget that even at the same class there can be a great difference between people. Okay, said Mio, trying to explain Yukita the difference between people. Now that you said, where is Koba? Kazara asked. Oh, I almost forgot about him, Najima said as he took out his tablet and opened a system, and after few settings there was a room which was being shown in the camera. What is this? Asked Takeda. This is the place where we all have gathered for the party, replied Najima. Huh, exclaimed the captains. That's what I have given to Koga, said Najima. But why? Asked Kazara, not liking that Najima lied to one of her gang members. It's because I am following my information in Kenichi's words as well, Najima replied. Explain it so that everyone could understand it, ordered Siko to Najima. Yes, well, when I told Kenichi that I was going to make Kazara join the Shinpaku Alliance, he said to specially look after Koga as he is the type of guy who isn't a team player type, so I did as he said and easily found out that he was going to sell our information to Ragnarok, Najima said. What? This isn't possible. Koga is part of my gang, he won't defect so easily, said Kazara. How sure are you about that, Koga? Asked Takeda. Well, we can see from this if what I am saying is true or not, and if I am correct then we will enjoy a great show, he. Najima said with his demonic laugh. Bang! Came a noise. Stop laughing and keep quiet, Siko said as she hit Najima with her sword still in its scabbard on Najima's head, making him go silent. Chapter 108, Shinpaku vs. Ragnarok. Well, we can see from this if what I am saying is true or not, and if I am correct then we will enjoy a great show, he. Najima said with his demonic laugh. Bang! Came a noise. Stop laughing and keep quiet, Siko said as she hit Najima with her sword still in its scabbard on Najima's head, making him go silent. At the other side, Koga was standing right outside of the door with the second fist. Berserker, are you sure that they are here? Asked Berserker aka Shogo Kitsukawa. Yes, according to the information I have got they are having a celebration party inside, Koga said with a smirk. Okay, said Berserker while continued chewing his chewing gum. He opened the door and had just taken half a step in when his instincts kicked in and he stepped back, pushing Koga inside. The door closed the moment Koga entered in. Noises such as ah. Oh, you. Ah wow came from his mouth, along with the noises of things being broken or crash came, such as crack boom, came from the room. After a minute or so the door opened once again and came Koga with his whole body covered in floor, feathers, ketchup, making him look disgustingly funny. Around his neck was a placard hanging in which these words were written: You Ragnarok guys aren't the type to keep the promise, but we do, so you will get your ass kicked tomorrow, only as decided by us. The Shinpaku Alliance vs. Ragnarok will commence tomorrow. Najima Haruo, general of Shinpaku Alliance. Reading this message, Berserker smirked and said, interesting, since you have that much confidence, I will really love to beat it to pieces along with your body. After saying his piece he didn't even looked at Koga again and left the place. The room where Shinpaku Alliance was having their real party was filled with laughter. That was really a great show, General, ha, said Matsuda while laughing with his fellow members. Ha. Koga wouldn't be able to clean himself from that even after weeks of bathing, Takeda said while laughing. The others were laughing as well, but Kazara wasn't much happy. I didn't thought that Koga would betray me, she said while sighing a little. Don't take it to heart, Kazara, even when we were the Technique Trio I didn't like that as much as Yukita, and that was one of the reasons for it, Takeda said. So who's going to fight who tomorrow? Asked Siegfried. Najima thought for some time and spoke, well, for the third fist, Freya. I am gonna fight her, Kazara interrupted him. I am gonna show her the strength my leg possess. So Kazara will take on third fist, that will leave us with Berserker, whom I personally Kenichi should deal with as well, Najima said. What? Why? Asked Yukita. Yeah, he is already fighting against Odin, who is big deal, so we should get a chance to test our strength as well, Takeda said. Berserker is said to be the fiercest warrior of all the fists, and there would be a damn well reason for this, don't you think? You guys may not like, but right now you aren't strong enough to face him, Najima said as a matter of fact. Takeda clenched his fist, then thought, I need to make him accept me as his disciple fast, otherwise I won't be able to help Kenichi at all. Okay guys, so this is gonna be like this, but don't worry, there are a lot of goons Ragnarok have and you can deal with them. Alright, now dismissed, go home and rest. We will meet straight at the abandoned warehouse where the fight is going to happen, Najima said to others, and they nodded. Their only Siko was thinking something else and didn't responded, but Najima knew that she will come as Kenichi will be there. After everyone went on their way, Najima posted the video of Koga he had on the internet, making such a big laughing stock out him that he won't even be able to come out of his house for weeks. When Mo reached the dojo, she saw Shigeru was teaching Anoka and Kid Stone basic exercise to strengthen their body foundation. I never thought that you would start from the basics, Shigeru. I was sure that each of them would be holding a sword by now, sparring against each other, Mio said with smile. Need to start from the basics, they need to be strong for the sparring, Shigeru said. Haha, yes Shigeru, they need to be strong for that. I will be going in the kitchen to make snacks for everyone since it is a little too early for dinner, okay, Mio said, to which Shigeru nodded, after which she left the courtyard to enter the kitchen. Next day. In the abandoned warehouse, Shinpaku Alliance was standing with their captains standing in the front, and the total number of them was around 50. On the other side, Odin was sitting on a chair which they most probably brought with them, and on his side was Berserker, Freya, with the fourth person being Rimi, and behind them were their gang members totaling around 100. The odds aren't in our favor, Najima, said Yukita. We may not have numbers, but it's not always that there is strength in numbers, Najima said. True, every one of us can take 10 of them, so odds are in our favors, Takeda said with a smile. Where is Kenichi Shirahama? Asked Odin, aka Ryuto Asamiya. He is in the way, don't worry, he will teach by the time we have dealt with the rest of your group, Najima said. Who, quite confidence you have, said Odin. That's for sure, says Najima. Freya, you wanted to deal with Valkyrie, right? Go and deal with her, Odin said to Freya, who nodded her head and walked forward. Kazara looked at Freya, who was walking towards them, and she started walking forward as well, and both stopped walking when both were standing just few gets apart from each other. Chapter 109, Freya vs. Kazara. Freya, you wanted to deal with Valkyrie, right? Go and deal with her, Odin said to Freya, aka Kaname, who nodded her head and walked forward. Kazara looked at Kaname, who was walking towards them, and she started walking forward as well, and both stopped walking when both were standing just few gets apart from each other. Sitting on top of the crane was Ogata himself, looking at the scene with curiosity. Though he noticed that members of Ryo Zanpaku sitting at the river bank across from them all except the elder, who was clearly missing. Leaving Ragnarok is one thing, but joining those guys is other. This isn't going to end well for you, Kazara. Kaname said. We will see about that, Kazara said, and launched a kick towards Kaname. Kaname blocked the kick and thrusted the staff forward, but Kazara jumped back, dodging from it. In order to defeat a man, a woman must use a weapon. Is that something you find hard to accept, Kaname said. Oomph, it's no longer about that, said Kazara as she got into a fighting stance. I've said it before. I want to walk my own path, and that's out of your shadow. With that statement, Kazara launched a barrage of taekwondo kicks at Freya, who blocked them with her staff. You are good. This was one of the reason I chose you. But your attacks are useless against me, Freya said as she knocked one of her kicks away, leaving Kazara open before thrusting her staff into her stomach. Kazara coughed as she felt the impact before stepping backwards. Kazara-sama, shouted Shiratori in fear. Why do you oppose me so strongly? Asked Freya as she readied her staff once more. You used to be so loyal to me. It's like Kenichi, Nil and Siko said, spat out Kazara once again, going back in her stance. I want to pursue my own ideals just like them. I wanted out of Valkyries, not because I saw weapons as cheating, but because I wanted to prove that I can become strong with my kicks. The kimono girl who beat you said weapons are extensions of your body, just like a fist to karate practitioner or elbows to Muay Thai. Freya winced as she remembered how the kimono girl beat her without any effort. Kazara took advantage of this by deflecting Freya's staff, using the added momentum from pushing the staff to spin so as to get behind Freya and kick her in the head. Freya blocked it, but before she could do anything else, Kazara spun once more and landed a kick to her back, sending her flying. Freya quickly recovered, slamming her pole into the ground to control her landing. This ain't a battle between taekwondo or staff, it's a battle between you and me, Kazara said. Then let's see how much you will far in it, Freya said as she ran towards Kazara while spinning her staff, sending swift strikes to Kazara. Kazara was forced to land in a defensive position as she had to block the staff attacks. Though she tried to hammer a kick, it was easily blocked by Freya. Shit. Long, medium and close range are all bust, thought Kazara as she took another hit to her arm. Gotcha, Kazara shouted as she caught the staff, but Freya merely spun her staff, separating it into two halves, causing Kazara to lose grip. You are not the only one who took the kimono girl's words to the heart. My staff is the extension of my body. I may have forgotten about it initially when I pursued power. But with this you will never defeat me, Freya said as swiftly put them back together, delivering a strike to Kazara's head. Powerful, thought Kazara as she dodged the staff, but since Myo and Kenichi can do it, so can I, she thought as she stamped down on the ground and glared at Freya. Still standing, you were always the type to never go down easily, Freya said, and charged in ready to deal the finishing strike on Kazara. Oh. Looks like this is going to be over soon, Odin said with a slight smirk on his face. Damn it. If Dairy Cow can do it, then so can I. Kazara told herself, then her movement completely changed. Everyone noticed this instantly as Kazara began to dodge all of Freya's attacks. Her stiff movements were gone, though the moves weren't totally his own, as Siko, who have sparred against Myo, and Myo herself knew that that's how she moved, and those movements were still a bit stiff and unsuited for her. Still, it would be enough for this fight. Kazara, try to predict her movements as well. Dodging won't help much, Myo shouted. Your kick should be the position you want to occupy, only then will they become successful, added Siko. Kazara didn't have the time to actually think what they were saying, but when she looked at Freya's attacks, she could see her movements clearly and even predict them well, allowing her to see the opening at the top of her head. Kazara jumped in the air, then quickly spun and launched an axe kick to Freya's head, but managed to bring her staff above her head to block it in time. I told you, this staff is my fist. There's no place I can't hit or defend, Freya said as she began to push Kazara's leg, but she wasn't done yet as she brought her other leg down while shouting, this is the fight between my legs and your fists. Double hammer kick. Kazara's double kick broke Freya's staff in half while slamming the attack onto Freya's head. Freya-sama / Kazara. Came the voice from both groups as both collapsed onto the ground, one from the attack and the other because she totally forgot about landing. Stay back, shouted Kazara as she got up, looking at Freya, it's not over yet. Freya slowly stood back up, both her hands holding her broken staff. TCH, I made it more dangerous, said Kazara as she looked at the jagged staff, now capable of stabbing someone. Though the next thing that happened wasn't expected by others except Siko. I have lost, said Freya, throwing down her broken staff. When a staff user's staff is broken, we must admit defeat. What do you mean by that? You can still move, Kazara shouted. Siko walked forward and pressed her hand on Kazara's shoulders, then said, everyone has their own ideals, Kazara. Yours is to prove that you can win any battle with your kicks, and Weppo users have their own beliefs. Chapter 110, Natsu vs. Berserker Part 1. Siko walked forward and pressed her hand on Kazara's shoulders, then said, everyone has their own ideals, Kazara. Yours is to prove that you can win any battle with your kicks, and weapon users have their own beliefs. I don't understand it, can you say it a little clearly? Kazara asked. I, following my familial samurai lineage, strictly follows what can be interpreted as Bushido code, even after meeting Kenichi. My character, behavioral patterns, and frequent sayings, e.g. it's a man's decision / promise after all, provides evidence of my strict following of Bushido code. Whereas for a staff user, Siko said while pointing at Freya standing before them, the way of the staff was not to kill, and that if it became sharp, then it was no longer a staff. If I wanted to kill, I could have simply used a knife or a gun, and these are my ideals, said Freya. Those ideals doesn't work on the path of martial arts, Freya, it is a path which is steeped with blood. Having such naive ideals will get you nowhere. Abandon that idea if you want to go any further. Odin said while standing up from his seat. I refuse, retorted Freya. I may have joined Ragnarok, but only to seek guidance from Kensei, to which I never abandoned the principle of the Kogatachi style. If that's what you want, then so be it, said Odin, then looked at Berserker. Take her down, he ordered him. Berserker without any reaction walked forwards. Oh, deal with them, but before he could reach them, Natsu in his uniform of hermit came in front of him. You are mine, Berserker, he said. Oh, ho, you finally came, Tanimoto, Naijima said with a smile. Shut up, I am not here for you, it's only because of my sister and Kenichi, Natsu said. The man you are talking about isn't here, hermit, even after he was the one to issue challenge, Odin said. He will come, you just have to sit there and wait, it's a man's promise after all, Siko said with a smile of her own. Odin looked at Siko, then sat back to watch the fight between Berserker and hermit. Just as they were gonna clash, a noise of wind crashing came, and everyone saw a huge shadow pass from above their head while dropping something. Bang *, crack came the noise as the thing landed on the ground, when the dust settled everyone saw that it was Kenichi who was dropped and below him was the broken asphalt from his landing. "Damn elder doesn't know how to drop someone," said Kenichi as he patted the dust from his clothes. Kenichi shouted almost everyone from the Shinpaku Alliance. "Oh hi guys, sorry I am late, we forgot how the time passed during the training," Kenichi said with a smile. "It's alright, we have left the boss for you," Najima said. "Gee, thank you Najima, much appreciated," Kenichi said while smiling as he looked at Odin who had a tick mark on his head. "Kenichi, would you mind," said Natsu to Kenichi who was taking the center stage, making it difficult for Berserker and him to fight all out. "Oh sorry man, please both of you go nuts," said Kenichi as he backed down, standing in front of Siko, Myo and Renka while Freya and Kazara were resting and sitting on a side as the Valkyries protected them from all sides. Berserker jumped and kicked towards Natsu, just for him to dodge it while grabbing the foot and counter whip-like uppercut. "Your movements are so slow, I don't even have to dodge," Natsu said. "Oh. Your level has gone up once again, Hermit," Odin said as Berserker stumbled back. "Don't think I am still the same as before," stated Natsu. "I've been undergoing hellish training ever since I met you last time when Loki tried to kidnap my sister along with Kenichi's. Berserker, I will use you to see how much I have improved, that would be perfect." Berserker wiped off the blood from his mouth and immediately tried to poke Natsu in the forehead as if to mark him and claim something. However, Natsu had been training for a lot of time and along with his talent his reflexes were at least on par with if not better than Berserker's. Natsu deflected it with one hand and his other hand like a whip went straight for his neck, which Berserker dodged by jumping backwards. Berserker jumped and punched towards Natsu who blocked, but then Berserker kicked towards him which Natsu dodged by swaying backwards, but Berserker wasn't done yet. With his other leg coming from behind Natsu he locked Natsu then twisted his body throwing him in the air. "That guy really has a great talent," Najima said. "Talent isn't enough for winning every fight," Kenichi said as Natsu effortlessly landed on his feet. "Hard work is needed as well." "I didn't thought he would go unscathed from it," Odin said as he looked at Hermit. "Is that all, Berserker? I thought you were better than this," Natsu said. "Not bad," laughed Berserker, "you're actually letting me have some fun." Berserker began to attack wildly, flipping through the air and attacking with just his instincts to fight. He has a good sense of his area. Yuma Chiaki as he came walking towards Kenichi and others. "You are late, Thor," Najima said. "Sorry, I totally forgot about it due to my training," Yuma Chiaki aka Thor said while scratching his head, and when he said everyone was looking at him and Kenichi who just shook his head and kept his focus on the match. Natsu attacked with his forearm aiming for Berserker's temple. "Too slow," commented Berserker before suddenly being hit in the back of his head by Hermit's two-step attack. Wincing in pain, Berserker threw a left straight just for Natsu to dodge it to try to elbow his face. Berserker caught it, but was unprepared for Natsu to extend his arm out and punch him in the face, followed by a roundhouse fist while planting his leg behind Berserker to make him lose his footing. "He won," shouted Matsui while waving the flag. Najima said while shaking his head, "No, not quite." That wraps up this part of What If Martial Artist Reborn is Kenichi Shirahama. Thanks so much for listening. As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well. See you in the next one.